The two main candidates vying to be the next Vice President of the United States have gone head-to-head in their only TV debate before next month's presidential election. In a debate lasting an hour and 40 minutes, Ohio Senator JD Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz sparred over key issues like abortion, the economy and immigration. John Sudworth reports.
This is a CBS News special, live.
The first question up, the crisis in the Middle East, and Tim Walz began by attacking his opponent's boss, Donald Trump.
That steady leadership is going to matter. It's clear, and the world saw it on that debate stage a few weeks ago. A nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd sizes is not what we need in this moment.
But JD Vance was quick to respond in kind, hitting back on Kamala Harris's record.
Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon today as they have ever been. And Governor Walz, you blame Donald Trump. Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine.
As expected, another topic loomed large: illegal immigration, and a chance for JD Vance to reference his family's struggle with addiction.
Massively increasing the asylum fraud that exists in our system, that has opened the floodgates. And what it's meant is that a lot of fentanyl is coming into our country. I had a mother who struggled with opioid addiction and has gotten clean.
Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this, and he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico will pay for it. Less than 2% of that wall got built, and Mexico didn't pay a dime.
The exchanges may have been robust, but for much of the media watching here in the spin room, there was a sense of something else, a real debate. Mr. Walz attacked Republicans over the loss of the right to an abortion.
I use this line on this, just mind your own business on this. Things worked best when Roe versus Wade was in place.
But from Mr. Vance, an attempt to address his party's difficulties on the issue.
My party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us.
In a divided country, a real exchange at least, and perhaps a glimmer of hope, whatever side you're on. John Sudworth, BBC News, New York.
I speak to Ambassador Mitchell Rees, who's a distinguished fellow at the Royal United Services Institute. Ambassador Rees, thank you very much for joining us. Widely regarded as a civil debate with commonality even. Who won in your view, if anyone did?
Well, I think the reports coming out of the debate suggest that JD Vance won the debate, but I think both candidates handled themselves pretty well. And again, the civility, I think, was a very welcome outcome of a debate where there hasn't been too much of that in American politics recently.
What did you learn that you didn't already know about these two men?
Well, that's a good question. I think that what was most surprising was how little attention was paid to foreign policy. Both candidates in their campaigns now realize that the people are focusing on the economy, on women's reproductive rights, and immigration, as your correspondent mentioned. So despite the Middle East being aflame, despite risks around the world, it was a little surprising that in an hour and 40 minutes, there was only one real question that came up on international relations.
Yeah, the escalating conflict in the Middle East weighing heavy on many people's minds, given what was happening in Israel and Iran. I mean, how clear are you about which direction the Republicans and the Democrats would go when it comes to their intervention in the Middle East?
Well, I think we saw when President Trump was president that he was a much more vocal and robust supporter of Israel. And I think that we've seen under the Biden administration that they're much more robust advocates of a diplomatic approach. And so the electorate's going to be able to draw conclusions as to who they think would better enhance stability in the Middle East and better protect America's interests around the world. But it is not a benign environment for whoever the next president might be.
Ambassador Mitchell Rees, distinguished fellow at the Royal United Services Institute. Short but sweet. We appreciate you talking to us here on BBC News. And if you'd like more analysis of that vice presidential debate, you can take a look at the BBC News website, where the live reporting is still there for you to see after the fact. This is BBC News.